The town greeted her with silence. Kayla pressed her forehead against the bus window, watching the suburban streets blur into monotony. The move was abrupt, her mom's new job, another escape from debt. It's quiet here, safe, she'd said that morning, avoiding eye contact. But school was a war zone. The first thing she heard upon entering class, a muffled snicker from the back row. Oh look, they dropped off midnight recon. A red-haired guy smirked, nodding at her skin. The teacher pretended not to hear. The system ignored. In the bathroom, someone accidentally shoved her, whispering, "Black means dirty. Don't touch the sink." Kayla clenched her jaw. Her dad taught her patience. For now. They thought she was prey. Lunch break. Kayla sat in the corner of the cafeteria, trying to be invisible. The food tasted like ash. The lump in her throat made it hard to swallow. "Hey, charcoal sack." Robert's voice cut through the noise. "Didn't they tell you? Blacks eat separately here." He hurled a ketchup packet at her. The red liquid splattered across her white shirt like blood. Silence. The entire room froze, waiting. Even the supervising teacher suddenly found his phone fascinating. Kayla stood up slowly. Her hands trembled, but her voice didn't. "Pick it up." Robert fake gasped. "Ooh, it talks. Wanna dance for us, monkey?" His crew burst into laughter. That was the last step. Kayla moved fast, not to strike. No. She grabbed his lunchbox and smashed it against the wall. Plastic cracked. Food exploded everywhere. "Next time, it's your face." Her eyes burned with icy promise, not rage, but a warning. The principal's office smelled of cheap coffee and hypocrisy. Kayla sat on the edge of her chair, clutching a wet wipe, the ketchup stain still visible on her shirt. Across the massive oak desk, Principal Grayson slowly flipped through her file, occasionally glancing at her over his glasses. "So, Miss Johnson," his voice sounded weary, as if he already knew how this conversation would end. "You're claiming that Robert Harper intentionally damaged your clothing?" "Yes." Kayla lifted her chin. "He threw a ketchup packet. The whole cafeteria saw it." The principal sighed and set the folder aside. "You see, we don't have racial issues here. Robert is a good student. Football team captain. Maybe you just misunderstood his joke?" The word joke hung in the air like poison gas. "A joke?" Her voice trembled, not from fear but rage. "When he calls me monkey, is that a joke too? When his friends shove me in the hallway?" Grayson removed his glasses and rubbed the bridge of his nose. "Kids can be cruel. You just need to ignore it." In that moment, Kayla understood the truth. The system wasn't just failing. It was complicit. Footsteps echoed outside. Mrs. Harper, Robert's mother, entered in an expensive suit and icy blue eyes. "Ah, here's our little aggressor." Her sugary voice cut like glass. "I heard you threaten my son with violence." Kayla opened her mouth to protest, but the principal raised his hand sharply. "That's enough. Miss Johnson, we'll handle this. You're dismissed." As she stepped into the hallway, a new surprise awaited. Someone had scrawled "Go back to the jungle" in large letters next to her locker. "Hey fam, ever faced a system that failed you? Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Did you experience something similar? If this hits home, hit subscribe." Back in one. The night after the locker incident, Kayla lay on a narrow bed in their rented apartment, fingers clawing the pillow. Through the thin wall, her little sister's whimpers echoed, scared of the dark in this new place. Mom, as usual, was working late. "Go back to the jungle." The words burned in her mind like a brand. She jumped up, grabbed a can of black paint from the toolbox, her dad's lesson, "Bullies fear those stronger than their hate," and slipped into the night. The school at 2:47 a.m. looked like an abandoned prison. The entrance light flickered, casting jagged shadows. Kayla approached her vandalized locker, spraying over the slur. She painted an Akan symbol, West African Adinkra 4 unyielding. "No shame, huh?" A raspy voice behind made her spin around. A lanky guy in a frayed hoodie stood by the wall, a camera in hand. His face was shadowed, but his eyes glinted with odd familiarity. Kayla tightened her grip on the paint can. "Chill, I'm not with them." He showed footage, Robert and crew tagging lockers of LGBTQ+ kids. They call it exclusion parties. His name was Elijah. 6 months ago, his autistic brother had taken his life after relentless bullying. Since then, Elijah had been gathering evidence, ignored by the administration. "You're the first to fight back." He handed her a flash drive. "Everything's here, racist group chats, Robert's forged grades, even videos of him planting drugs on troublemakers." Kayla felt the ice in her chest crack. She wasn't alone. Morning brought a new trap. A voodoo doll, black cloth pierced with pins, lay on her desk. The note read, "Die before it's too late." But now Kayla had an ally. Elijah nodded from the back, covertly activating a body cam. Kayla didn't expect the worst blow to come from her protector. Her mom found the flash drive that morning while searching for keys. Kayla froze in the kitchen doorway as she plugged it into the laptop. Videos flashed, Robert planting a baggie in a hijabi girl's backpack. The principal accepting an envelope from Mrs. Harper. "What is this?" Her mom's voice trembled, not with fear but rage. "Are you blackmailing them? Are you insane?" "It's evidence." Kayla reached for the drive, but her mom yanked it away. "They'll destroy us if we stay silent." "No, they'll destroy us if you keep this up." Her mom hurled the drive into the sink, drowning it in water. "You think I don't know how this works? I'll lose my job. We'll be homeless." Kayla realized her mom wasn't scared for her. She was scared for herself. "Dad would have supported me," she whispered, tears burning. "Your father is dead," her mom screamed, then clapped a hand over her mouth. Silence. Only the dripping flash drive echoed in the sink. Elijah waited at school. "Where's the drive?" he asked, eyeing her puffy face. "My mom destroyed it." He froze, then laughed bitterly. "I gave you a decoy. Everything's on the cloud. You really thought I'd trust a rookie with the only copy?" Kayla smiled for the first time that day. But their moment shattered as Elijah's phone buzzed. An anonymous text, "We know about the cloud. Shut it down, or the girl regrets it." Attached was a photo, Kayla's little sister on the school playground. The first raindrop hit her face like a warning. Kayla sprinted across the schoolyard, clutching her phone. "Where is she?" Her sister was supposed to leave art club 10 minutes ago. Elijah, monitoring the cameras, reported she left with a teacher in a blue jacket. "The art club has no new staff." "Is Mom on her way?" she yelled into the phone, circling the building. "Yes, but police say they're stuck in traffic." Elijah's voice shook with rage. "They're lying. They're paid off." The storm intensified. Near the gym, Kayla spotted a clue, her sister's pink hair clip. She dashed around the corner, colliding with the teacher, a tall figure in a hood. "Where's my sister?" Kayla lunged, but the figure dodged, pinning her against the wall. "Playing with fire, little girl," the stranger hissed, slipping a phone with live tracking into her pocket. "Want to find her? Come alone." The phone pointed to a derelict warehouse on the outskirts. Elijah urged her to contact the FBI anonymously, but Kayla was already biking through the storm, rain mixed with tears on her face. The warehouse was a trap. In the dim light, she heard whimpers. Robert emerged, gripping a baseball bat. "Thought we'd fear your cloud?" He smirked. "No cameras here. No one's coming." Kayla stepped forward, recalling her Muay Thai training, but sirens wailed. 3 cop cars arrived. "Hands up." An officer aimed at her, not Robert. The system shielded the powerful again. As cuffs clicked, lightning struck. The power died. Someone yanked her into the dark. "Run!" Elijah's voice. They carried her sister out, but Robert vanished, tipped off. Hundreds of eyes followed Kayla as she entered school. Classmates whispered, pointing at phones. Printed screenshots of Robert's chats covered the walls. "Blacks should be sterilized. Autistic freaks are nature's mistakes." Elijah had hacked the server and leaked everything. "You're a genius." Kayla grinned, but Elijah stared at the floor. "This is just the start. Robert won't back down." They didn't know the principal was threatening Kayla's mom. "Silence your daughter, or I'll bury your career." Grayson tossed fake medical reports on her desk. "Schizophrenia, aggression. You don't want your youngest taken away, do you?" Her mom trembled, but fear turned to fury. "Get out, or I'll call the reporters waiting outside." Grayson paled. He hadn't noticed the journalists from an independent outlet. At 3 p.m., the truth bomb dropped. Footage of cops arresting Kayla instead of Robert went viral. Hashtag justice for Kayla trended. Protesters gathered outside. Racism isn't a joke. But Robert fought dirty. His mom gave an interview. "She's dangerous, mentally ill." Mrs. Harper sobbed, showing fake photos of Kayla holding a knife. Kayla broke. She locked herself in the bathroom, tearing off her Akan necklace. "Dad, I can't do this." "Hey." The door creaked open. Amira, the hijabi girl Robert framed, stood there. "We're with you." Behind her stood the misfits, autistic Liam, plus-sized Jess, trans guy Chris. The admin deleted the files. Elijah entered with a laptop. "I archived everything on the dark web." They became an army. Smoke billowed from the chemistry lab as Kayla rushed inside. "It wasn't me," she yelled. but the fire alarm drowned her voice. Students flooded out, while Robert filmed from the parking lot. She burned the school, he screamed. Look at the psycho. Cops arrived in minutes. They pinned Kayla down as Elijah tried to show footage of Robert carrying gasoline. The officers laughed. An autistic kid's edits? Nice try. Kayla's mom faced Grayson again. Expulsion or jail. He slid her a photoshopped image of Kayla holding a lighter. Choose. But Amira stormed in with a crowd. We all saw Robert plant the fire. We're done staying silent. The school erupted into chaos. The schoolyard buzzed like a hornet's nest. Protesters, cops, live streamers, the chaos reigned. Elijah's drone buzzed overhead, broadcasting to the world. Hashtag burn the system trended globally. We won't back down. Kayla stood atop a police barricade, her voice raw but unbroken. They think we're weak. They're wrong. Robert, shielded by officers, screamed about law and order, but his words died in the roar. Suddenly, a flare shot into the sky. Liam, the autistic boy, had ignited a forgotten chemistry lab firework. The fire was fake. The revolution wasn't. The town buzzed with uneasy triumph. Robert and Grayson awaited trial. The school, now a symbol, was draped in protest art. Kayla's mom hugged her tightly, a silent apology. He'd be proud, she whispered about Kayla's dad. But the fight wasn't over. Elijah traced the anonymous message to an encrypted server. A masked figure appeared on screen. You exposed one rotten branch. The tree remains. Want to cut it down? Kayla glanced at her allies, Amira, Liam, Chris, Jess, and a crowd of rebelling students. We're just getting started. The letter arrived at midnight. No return address. Just a faded photo of a man resembling Kayla's father, stamped 2003 in blood-red ink. Dad was deployed in 2003. Kayla's hands shook. Elijah enhanced the background. Harper Academy. Est. 2001 inch on a brick wall. The truth unfolded in dust-covered archives. Newspaper headline, student dies in mysterious fall. The victim, a black teen with Kayla's defiant stare. Your uncle, her mom finally confessed. They called it suicide. Your father never believed it. Now Kayla understood. This wasn't just bullying. It was a generational curse, one she'd break or die trying. Rain lashed against the Harper mansion windows. Elijah's hack disabled security. Old man Harper aimed a pistol. Like father, like daughter, both nuisances. Muscle memory took over. Her dad's voice, when fight's inevitable, strike first. 3 moves. 1. Elbow to throat. 2. Knee to gut. 3. Head versus. Antique desk. Feds swarmed in as Harper choked on his own blood. But the real treasure was in the safe. Blueprints for 17 corrupt schools. Kayla flipped through evidence. Even. That photo. 2003. Harper pushing her uncle off the roof. Justice tasted bitter. The new school's doors gleamed in the morning light. Inside, children's voices echoed through halls once ruled by fear. A plaque read, David Johnson Center, named for her father. You did it, Elijah smiled. We did, Kayla corrected. Behind her stood the others, Amira, Liam, Jess, Chris, no longer victims, but survivors. Yet one mystery remained. She unfolded the anonymous note that had led them to the Harpers. On the back, in tiny letters, thank you, now it's my turn. Who wrote this? She asked. Elijah stayed silent. He knew, but some truths weren't his to tell. Because every revolution needs its next chapter.